Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today on this dark day today? First of all, I want to say hello to Karen. She's always first up here. Just want to welcome you to the show. I'm not going to be long. I do want to talk about a subject that is very important, and let's get into it. All of a sudden, socialism seems like it's the big thing right now. Everybody wants to be a socialist. You don't believe me? Watch this. Let me see if I can pull this stuff up real quick. Just give me a moment. Let's see if I can pull this stuff up real quick, and we'll see where we can go from here. All right, so we see this first article say, "I'll be very happy man will the coronavirus," this is from Time Magazine, "outbreak turn Andrew Yang $1,000 promise into a reality." Now look, I don't know what's going on with my computer, so give me a moment. Andrew Yang really brought to light this UBI at $1,000 tops, okay? But it started all the way back to Dr. King. It even went further than that with Mr. Milton. The UBI is a very important subject, but I don't believe in UBI in the place of. UBI in the place of food stamp, UBI in place of public housing, UBI in the place, no, I believe in UBI plus. You get your food stamps and you get UBI if you're under a certain amount of income, or if you're out of work, or you can't find no work, or if you're disabled and things like that. But it say, "I'll be very happy man will the coronavirus outbreak turn Andrew Yang $1,000 promise into a reality." So when entrepreneur Andrew Yang, a product of the Obama administration, most people don't even talk about that, announced he was running for president, many considered him to be an unorthodox candidate. As a successful entrepreneur who attended an Ivy League law school and founded Venture for America, a national fellowship program for aspiring business owners, he shared similar credentials to presidential candidates before him, but he was facing off against more than a dozen members of Congress and Obama administration alumni as someone who had never been elected to public office himself. All right, so I'm not going to get in this story. You can read it for your own. For yourself, but it is being touted out there that UBI may be the thing to combat. Give me a moment. UBI may be the thing that they may have to do, not by choice. Believe me, the federal government don't want to give everybody $1,000 a month, especially Republicans, and half of the Democrats don't want to do that because they're Republican-leaning Democrats. They don't want to service the need of people who really need it. All they can think about is their corporate donors. So $1,000 has never been anything on the mind of any politician, not even Bernie Sanders. I watched a very few videos of Bernie Sanders, how he said, "Look, I think we need more than that, $15 minimum wage." And I'm like, "Bernie, no, don't pull away from that. We need $15 in the wage plus UBI." Now, Andrew Yang is trying to separate UBI in the place of. I don't believe in UBI in the place of. I believe in UBI plus. That's what I believe. I don't think there should be replacing anything. It should be a part of the daily structure of every American. Other countries have touted that. Other countries have introduced that and seen some great results out of UBI. But that's just one thing. Even Donald Trump is touting sending $1,000 a month. Even Mitt Romney, of all people, corporate Mitt, talked about $1,000 UBI. The thing is, they want to do it through this crisis, but they don't want to do it as a normal thing to do. Only in crisis, $1,000 a month. Only in crisis, let's get people paid vacation, Nancy Pelosi. PTO. Let me go to that particular article. Give me a moment. All right, so let's look at this one. Pelosi called for expanding paid leave in the next stimulus package. Now, last stimulus package, they took our tax dollars and gave it to corporate America. They gave it to the banking industry. And the banking industry were the very crooks that brought our economy down. So bad enough you didn't lock him up, Obama. You slap him on the wrist and then you gave him our money. What kind of punishment is that? You giving people our money for crushing the economy. What you should have did was give that money to the American people. And I'm going to show you a message about that from a pastor, used to be in Maryland, named Jamal Bryant. He talked about what would happen if you put money in the hands of people instead of hands of corporation. Well, Nancy Pelosi talked about expanding paid leave in the next stimulus package. Now, most of these things that everybody is talking about in crisis right now are proposals that Bernie Sanders have been pushing for over 25 years. 25 years he's tried to pass laws to serve the American people, and they rejected it over and over again, mainly because they know their donors not going to like it, because they got big money donors that they're beholden to. They're not going to like it, so they kept rejecting it. And then they got the nerves to sit there and say, well, he couldn't get any bills passed. That's because you kept rejecting his bills. Most of his bills are to serve the American people, and you kept rejecting them over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. So here's one right here. Pelosi expand paid leave. Do you know Bernie Sanders has been talking about paid leave for so long? He introduced it in Vermont. He's seen what happens in other countries when you guarantee people paid leave. When you give them a shorter work week. I mean, some countries you only work 30 hours, 35, and you get paid 40. But Pelosi, now in the midst of crisis, want to expand leave in the next stimulus package. Said Nancy Pelosi on Tuesday said House Democrat demands that any subsequent legislation to help mitigate the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic include an expansion of emergency paid leave. Emergency paid leave. This should have been part of our structure anyway. It doesn't matter whether it's the coronavirus or you're getting ready to have a baby or your grandma in the hospital or something like that. You should be able to have an emergency paid leave. You shouldn't have to call your job to see if you can call out because mom's in the hospital or dad has got in a car accident. You know, jobs will fire you. They will still try to fire you if you say, look, I can't come in. I'm sorry. My daughter just got in an incident at school. She broke her leg. I got to go take her. I got to meet her at the hospital. You know, they will write your butt up. It should be illegal for them to do that. And you got to come with all this paperwork to do that. But now all of a sudden, in crisis, Nancy Pelosi want to push an emergency paid leave. And everybody is just giving her praise and glory. Oh, Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Nancy. Now, look, hold up. Nancy is only doing that because of a crisis. And she wants to look like a hero. She wants to out-Trump Trump. She wants the Democratic Party and herself to out-Trump Trump in this situation, because the bottom line, no matter whether we're in a crisis or not, she is still playing politics. And they still got to try to get Joe Biden over the hump, who is not really for none of this stuff. He's only for it because of the crisis. And see, this is where you got to judge people. Is this because you're in a crisis, or you think this is the right thing to do for Americans anyway? Why do you have to wait till we get in a pandemic situation to propose Bernie Sanders-istic policies? It say the Senate is currently considering a House-passed bill, which they already passed the bill, this is all, to help prop up the economy amid an outbreak, but lawmakers in both chambers are already looking ahead to another stimulus package as the market remains volatile. After initial passage of legislation early Saturday morning that would expand paid sick leave as well as family and medical leave, the House passed another series of changes on Monday night to accommodate GOP's concern over the cost of businesses already hit by the social distance measuring put in place to clamp down on the spreading of coronavirus. So not only do we have the Republicans still trying to worry about the businesses, do you understand, Republicans, that people run the businesses and the only people, and it's not just the owner of the company that runs the business, it's the workers. And we're in a pandemic and all of them need to go. Some situation you're going to have to shut the business down and give these people opportunity to not get exposed. Or you step up or ramp up different kind of methods to keep yourself from being exposed if you're going to work. There should be a hazardous pay. So any person going outside right now to work right now, if your job is demanding you to come to work, they should at least give you hazardous pay. They should at least give you an extra $100 a week for you taking time out of your busy schedule to go out there and work anyway in the middle of this mess. And people who work for patients, work for the elderly, they should get even more money because they have to make sure they don't bring this back to their patients. Now, I'm not going to, you know me, I try not to go to these articles. I want you to go read these articles for yourself. Everybody got BT time. You know what BT time is? Bathroom time. You pull up on your phone and look it up because you want to see this stuff for yourself. But Nancy Pelosi came up with this stimulus package, paid sick days, paid family day, all this kind of stuff. Right now, New York has paid sick days. We have family leave. We have medical leave. We have all those things. You know, you do have to buy into it. You do have to earn it in some cases, but we do have it. But the rest of the world don't have it. The rest of the United States. Now let's go to another one. I think this had, the bill passed 363-40. They say bipartisan. Well, it wasn't 363-40. It was virtually assured when President Donald Trump backed the measures largely hammered out by Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Steve Mnuchin and urged Republicans to support the bill. All right, now, it said this bill, overwhelming bipartisan vote to expand access to free testing. Free testing. I got to say this. Anything concerning medical should not have a cost to it. It shouldn't. It didn't cost for us to get this. It shouldn't cost for us to get rid of this. So here it is, another proposal, free testing. That's all part of single-payer health care. You can get tested. You can get screening for cancer. You can get screening for this. You can get screening for that. Now you want to do it in a time of crisis. You want free testing. But if we wasn't in a crisis, free testing, that's ridiculous. Can't have free testing. What about the testing companies? They got to get paid. They want us to provide $1 billion in food aid and extend sick leave benefits to vulnerable Americans. So like I said, you can go through these on your own. Here's another one. Let me pull this one up. We already saw this one. Let's see what Steve Mnuchin got to say. This is the guy who Kamala Harris slapped on the wrist when he took away so many people's homes in California.
Idea of the payroll tax holiday, I will tell you what we've heard from many people, and the president has said we can consider this. The payroll tax holiday would get people money over the next 6 to 8 months. We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately. And what we've heard from hardworking Americans, many companies have now shut down, whether it's bars or restaurants. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now, in the next 2 weeks.
How much?
I will be previewing that with the Republicans. There's some numbers out there. They may be a little bit bigger than what's in the press.
Go ahead, please.
All right, now before we get into this, now you got the Republicans saying they want to do something for the American people. You got Nancy Pelosi saying they want to do something for the American people. And Bernie Sanders' policies have always been these type of policies. See, they want to do a one-time or two-time temporary thing when Bernie Sanders is saying, look, we need to have something going on consistently for the American people because we got too many people that's sick, too many veterans on the street, too many veterans not getting the medical care they need, too many regular people going through hell and high water. And right now, they haven't found a job. They haven't gotten the education they need to get a better job. And we need to do whatever we can to take their tax money that they use to invest in our government. We should at least give them some opportunity to get a return on it. Therefore, UBI would be a good thing. Even though Bernie Sanders don't propose it, he think it's a good idea to think about it, but he don't want to do it. He'll rather have the $15 minimum wage. No, $15 minimum wage, UBI, especially for those who don't have any work, and making sure no kids go hungry. A whole host of things are part of his platform. And these are the same people that mock him, but yet they're doing Bernie Sanderistic style policies. Now, the tax holiday, dealing with that situation is good. Trying to get people tax money out to them quicker and faster is good. But what if you didn't work? How much money you gonna get? Where is your stimulus package? You may be disabled. Where is your stimulus package? I'm gonna bring myself back up and listen to what you guys got to say in a moment. Let me go to one more. I think this is it. This is the big one. Federal Reserve cuts rates to zero. They cut rates to zero. Federal Reserve. But yet they still want you to pay your student loan. And you barely can pay that student loan. But yet when we talk about quantitative easing for a student loan, they want to go all crazy. Oh, socialism, communism. Oh, y'all lost all your mind. You got the loan. You need to pay it back. And then, yeah, when we got the loan, we thought we would be able to pay it back because you changed the laws and you rigged the system against us. We can't even pay that back because we can't even find the jobs that's going to help us pay it back. $1 trillion stimulus. Do you realize up top, it says $1 trillion stimulus. Federal Reserve is going to do what they call quantitative easing. Jill Stein talked about this in her campaign, the Russian puppet. Talked about quantitative easing of student loans. Just eliminate it. How do you do that? The same way the Federal Reserve is doing in this situation, during this so-called pandemic. In an emergency move Sunday, the Federal Reserve announced it is dropping its benchmark interest rate to zero and launching a new round of quantitative easing. The QE program will entail $700 billion worth of asset purchase, entailing treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. Market respond negatively to the Dow future, pointing to a drop of 900 points when the market opened Monday. The Federal Reserve saying that the coronavirus outbreak has harmed communities and disrupt economic activities in many countries. So why are you not doing the quantitative easing to the communities that it is harming? You want to give quantitative easing to the financial sector, but you don't want to ease the pain and the struggle and the bills and all that of the American people. Communities and disrupt economic activities in many countries, including the United States. Cut interest rates to essentially zero on Sunday and launch a mass $700 billion quantitative easing program to shelter the economy from the effects of the virus. You mean shelter the big banks? Because most of us out here don't own a home. So how's the 0% interest going to affect us? A lot of us don't have car loans. We don't have home loans. A lot of us can't really afford that stuff. So how is that going to ease us, Fed chair? The new Fed funds rate used as a benchmark both for short-term lending for financial institutions as a peg to many consumer rates will now be targeted at 0% to 0.25% down from previous target range to 1% to 1.25% down. Again, this is financial institutions used as a benchmark both for short-term lending for financial institutions. So this quantitative easing thing is not helping you out. It's helping your bank out. Sure, if you can manage to get a loan from a bank, you can go get you a house or whatever at 0% interest at right now at this time. How many of you can do that? How many of you people can walk out right now and just go right up, go to your bank and get a $250,000 loan and purchase a house? Okay, let's be a little more moderate. I'm a fan of the Tiny Homes and Tiny Tims on YouTube, and he have these elaborate, nice homes, and they're like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, very cheap, beautiful homes. Very cheap in Texas. Can't get it up here. Even then, at that amount of money, How can you actually go get a $60,000 to $100,000 loan? Not most people. So here we are. We got the Feds doing $700 billion quantitative easing. They're asking for trillions, and none of these help you. Now, sure, we have Nancy Pelosi trying to extend the paid leave. Some states don't have PTO. So having PTO temporarily is better than nothing, but the United States should have been passed the PTO law. Right now, New York City is trying to push 10 PTO days, 10 paid time off days. So you can use that as extra sick days, or I'm sick of looking at you days, or I just need a mental day. I'm tired of looking at my boss's face or whatever, and I just want to stay home. We're pushing laws where the company's got to pay for you to have 10 paid time off days. On top of that, New York City has paid sick days. You get 5 paid sick days. Of course, they leave it open where you got to earn it. To me, companies, if you've been with a company over a year, you should automatically get it every year you're with the company. But that's what union negotiations are for. They need to close that. They need to fix that. They need to make it mandatory. We have family leave. We have FMLA. We have medical leave, just regular medical leave. You end up getting pregnant, or your husband go overseas and fight. We have leave for you for that. But that's New York, and that's one of the progressive things about New York, and one of the things I love about New York. But most of America don't have that. And now Nancy Pelosi want to propose that in a crisis, when Bernie Sanders have been proposing for that as a mandated law ever since he got to the House and Senate. So now you want to do these Sandernistic things like quantitative easing. That same money you're giving to the financial sector, you could have wrote off everybody's student loan debt. And whatever extra money that they normally pay debt in, they could put that right back into the economy to boost the economy. So you got Trump looking at the idea of UBI, or at least giving people some of the money. You're not doing me no favor giving me money that I gave you. That's my money anyway. I'm not impressed by the president saying you should get $1,000, or the House and the Senate and the president pass a bill saying you get $1,000 a month. How much? How long? Is this going to be permanent, or are you just doing this through this crisis? Now, don't get me wrong. It's good that they're talking about it. It's good that they're thinking about it. It's good that they're proposing. But here we are. We got people always trying to dump on this guy right here. And if you got a valid reason to dump on him, you got a valid reason. Because I know some people got some valid reason to dump on Bernie Sanders. But this ain't it. This man been preaching all these things for the longest time. He's passed bills on these things for a long time, and you keep rejecting it. Then you turn around and say, oh, he couldn't get no bills passed. Nah, he could get them passed. You just refuse to pass it because you're thinking about your corporate numbnut donors instead of American people. But now we're in a pandemic. Now we're in a crisis. You want to do these things. Now, look, I'm going to show you a message. This message was back in the last time we did a bailout. Hang in there with me. Because this preacher, kind of like in the fashion of William Barber in his message, talks about what a stimulus package to the people could have did for America back when we first had that crash after 9/11. Watch this.
Of 1929. We have to, in fact, change from being the land of the free and the home of the brave to the land of foreclosures and the home of debt.
Can you guys hear that?
The government is leaning towards bailing out Wall Street to the tune of $700 billion. This $700 billion is not going to arrive out of osmosis. But the $700 billion is going to be squarely taken away from hardworking taxpayers like you and I. That's equating to, in doing the math, every person in America paying $7,000 a person to bail out an economy and a stock that you don't have investment in, making us a stone's throw away from being a part of socialism. If Congress wants to bail entities out, then they should not start with insurance agencies. They ought to start with individuals, because there are hard-working people in America who are having to rob Peter to pay Paul to pay back Bartholomew. People who worked and labored their entire lives are getting ready to have their homes snatched away from them. Something is absolutely not just rotten in Denmark. Something is wrong in America. That the first line item in dealing with the bailout is making sure that the CEOs of the corporations are paid first, while the workers are in fact handled last. Maybe, my dear friends, $700 billion is too much to wrap your mind around. And so let's look at just one slice of the economy that will in fact affect all of us. If $700 billion will bail out the entire Wall Street industry, and that's too much to fathom, let's look at just AIG Insurance. AIG Insurance has already been promised $85 billion in bailout. And the question that I must ask Congress and Senate that is meeting right now while we speak to come out with an economic plan to save our union and to save our citizens, I came humbly to submit to them a suggestion as to what I think will help us in this economy. Since America for the last 6 years have been claiming debt and have been claiming that we've been living behind the 8 ball, first of all, I need to know, where did you find $85 billion? And if you found $85 billion, please don't give it to companies, give it to families. Because it is that I know that you have been wrestling Congress and Senate for the last 48 hours. I did the math for you to help you understand how it is that you can appropriate the finances of $85 billion. If in fact we look at a line item issue of $85 billion, there are 300 million Americans. Of the 300 million Americans, there are 200 million who are over 18 years of age. If you divide for the 200 million Americans who are over 18, which makes them qualified to be tax-paying citizens, every American today ought to be cut a check for $425,000 a person. If you look at $425,000 a person, because we're all over 18, that income is taxable. Because it is taxable and you're looking at a flat tax of 30% per person, that means that we are able to take home after taxes $297,500 that we put in our pocket. That's $25 billion that will go back into the U.S. economy after taxes, because we'd have to pay on the $425,000, $125,000 will be paid back to Uncle Sam, leaving every individual $297,500 in your pocket per person. Now, if that is a family, a husband and a wife, they then will receive a check for $595,000 per person. The question, Mr. Senator, that you're asking is, what would we do with the money? I'm glad you asked. The first thing we would do is we would pay off our mortgage. If we pay off our mortgage, that immediately will end the housing crisis. We'll get everybody out of an apartment and everybody is a homeowner. What is the second thing we would do? The second thing we would do is repay college loans. If we repay college loans, that will erase the debt of Fannie Mae, and it will save the historically black colleges and universities. The third thing that we would do is make a deposit into our bank account, making it possible so that Bank of America, Wachovia, and Merrill Lynch will not go under, and they will not need any subsidized assistance. assistance, it will also create a stream of income for entrepreneurs who have an idea but have not had the financial assistance to make it possible. The next thing we would do, because you know we still Negroes, we will go buy a car. And if we go buy a car, that would save the U.S. auto industry so that Ford and General Motors will not have to be sold to the Japanese, but that we can keep the jobs at home. The next thing we would do is pay medical insurance so that our mothers and fathers might be able to live a long and a healthy life, and they won't have to choose between food and prescriptions because they have adequate health care. The next thing we'd do, because we black, we would immediately deduct child support so that every father that owes, before he gets his check, the child support will be taken out so that every child will have a chance. Now, if that don't make you shout, the first thing we gonna do is tithe. Is to give the 10% back into the house.
I don't know
of
y'all.
God
I know y'all
to
guys
say,
don't want to hear
"Lord,
that.
thank you." Because if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, where would I be? So, Mr.
Now, I'm going to stop there for a minute because I know y'all people say, I knew that was going to come. Look, he said everything else before that. That was the last thing at the end of his message. I think it is. Because I'm a tither. I believe in investing in my church. Let me tell you something about my church, because somebody questioned me about my church. My church does a lot for the community. My church in the wintertime hand out so many brand new coats to kids in the Bronx who can't afford it. We oftentimes open up our kitchen feeding people who don't have food. We oftentimes educate kids after school. We do business classes. We do real estate investment. See, that is what your tithe and offering in the church. If you go to church, we know we got a lot of secular people that watch on Bob TV. This ain't got nothing to do with you, all right? So don't get upset. But I'm just letting you know that all churches are not evil trying to get people money. No, there's a purpose for the money. Now, like Pastor Jamal Bryant said, now I don't agree with everything Jamal Bryant. I mean, Jamal Bryant has his own issues. He's a man that makes mistake and that has faults and have done wrong and probably do wrong again, because we all are human beings. But what he said is absolutely true. If the government gave the money to us, we will do most of the bailing out. We don't need nobody else to do all the bailing out. Let me see what else he got to say, and I'm done.
Mr. Bush, if you're looking at this, keep your $1,000 stimulus check. Give me my $425, because that's the least you can do for 300 years of slavery, injustice, and oppression. If you can't give me reparation, give me my check.
And that's what Dr. King said. Look, they're going to give all these people trillions and billions of dollars, and none of it is going to you. All you're going to do is probably get some paid time off and things like that. Look, don't give me no paid time off. Why don't you give me that money that you're going to give to them, give it to me, so I can help, so I can pour it right back into the economy. The paid time off, the sick time, the family leave should be normal things that we should do for the American people. Now, Medicare for all wasn't a big thing back then. It wasn't being talked about. So Jamal, just understand about Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant was one of the first preachers that came out in support for Bernie Sanders back in 2016. 2016, he came out in support of Bernie Sanders. He actually went with Bernie Sanders to Flint to talk to the people of Flint, Michigan, and a couple of other places. So don't sleep on Jamal. Now, I always tell people, if you don't like, when it comes to preachers and stuff like that, if you got your thing about preachers that you don't like preachers, because some of them are crooks, not all of them, just listen to the message, because the message ain't got nothing to do with him or anybody else. This message was on point for that time, and it's on point for this time. So let me bring myself back up, and I'm done. The bottom line is the federal government all of a sudden want to do Bernie Sanders type stuff. Quantitative easing. They want to get paid time off, sick time, family leave, medical leave. should be already law anyway. You know, Trump want to give people extra money off their taxes. You want to speed up the tax process so you can get your check quicker. You know, quicker than H&R Block. Trump is touting UBI, $1,000 a month. Andrew Yang, even Mitt Romney, $1,000. Trump passed that, it's game over for Biden or Bernie. If Trump gives everybody $1,000 a month, whether they're working or not, it's game over. Because that is a good policy. But I still believe it's $1,000 plus. But I'm with Jamal Bryant. Take that money and give it to the American people. Stipulations on the money, though. Can you imagine what would have happened to all those economies if they gave us the money to put back into housing, to put back into student loans, to pay off student loans? Or can you just imagine what it would have been like? You'd have been able to start that business. You've been able to get your own home and a car. You've been able to do a whole lot of stuff. And like he said, child support would be paid, because I know some of you mothers out there got to fight that dude over child support, and that dude would rather go to jail than pay child support. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that people going through, and they want to give all this money to these wealthy people for the second time, our money, instead of giving the money back to us and let us stimulate the economy. There's a lot of things we can do with that type of money. I believe, as Bernie Sanders believes, our tax dollars are an investment. If anybody is on welfare, it's the federal government. They cannot run without us. They just can't. They need us to invest into the government. But then people say we don't want government running anything, so why are we paying them? Well, I don't want to pay taxes anyway. I don't either. But I do understand that taxes has its purpose. Just like when I go to church and I pay my tithes have a purpose at church, because I've seen what it does. I've seen the amount of school supplies we give kids who parents don't have the money. I mean, high quality, not no cheap junk that you just, order from some, high quality stuff. Coats in the wintertime. Toys when the parents can't afford toys. We'll pick the kids up in the neighborhood in a van and take them to museums and take them out of town. I mean, we got programs where we teach people how to build. We teach people how to buy their first home. I mean, we do so much. That stuff costs. Same thing with the federal government. Your tax dollars have a mission. And the mission should be to invest in the government, to keep the government running. But just like any investment, you should get a return out of the money that you invest. Just like when I tithe, I get a return. When you give into the government, you get a return out of your investment. The return should be something like this. When it's time of a crisis, you take that money and give it to the people, and not to the people who may be either part of the crisis, or what they're about to do is going to make things even worse for the crisis. To me, giving money to Wall Street and all these guys to the financial sector and to do a quantitative easing for them, it's not going to help you. At the end of the day, you still got student loan debt. At the end of the day, your hospital bill is still going to muscle up. We don't have free health care. So you can have all that time off of work and you go to the hospital, you still got to pay that hospital bill. Now, sure, you may not have to pay for the vaccine. You may not have to pay. By the way, there's a young lady who tested the vaccine today, a trial vaccine, and she's doing fine today. I wish I can do a report. I may do a report on her later, but she's doing fine. There are some vaccines out there for the coronavirus that's being tested, and she tested, and so far, so good. That's one good note. Okay, but the thing is, people still gonna have to end up going to the hospital, and the bill's just gonna still come. So if you can't do Medicare for all, give me the stimulus package so I can pay some of these bills. So guys, I don't know. I just find it funny how our federal government, like I said, if you got a valid reason to crap on Bernie Sanders, make sure it's valid. That's how I am about anybody. I'm not going to dog you out unless there's something you did worth dogging out. And I'm going to call you out for it. But I don't want to keep dogging you out. I'll give you a chance to fix it. And hopefully you do the same thing for me. But it's funny how the federal government, all of a sudden, you want to crap on this man, pick at him because, oh, Russia, communist, socialism, he want to give people free stuff. No, ain't nothing free, bruh. I paid taxes. That's my money. You getting paid off of the money that I give the government. Your paycheck that you get, congressman or senator, that comes out of my pocket. I pay taxes. You pay taxes. So go somewhere with that free stuff. Pull yourself up about your bootstrap. No, let me tell you something. If I'm out of work, I deserve unemployment because in some states you pay into your unemployment. Some states they make your company pay, which is good. You deserve an unemployment check. If you're out of work and you don't make enough money and you can get food stamps, you go get your food stamps. Don't be not proud. You invested in that. You should get a return off that. Don't be getting no pride. And no, get that while you can. There's nothing wrong with that. If they offer adequate housing and you're in a situation where you can't afford affordable housing or take advantage of it. Your taxes is your investment into the federal government. And in certain times like this, you're going to need to get a return on your investment. There's nothing wrong with dividends. And there's nothing wrong with making a profit off the money you poured into an investment. A lot of people out here made thousands of dollars. Think about the people who toilet paper was probably like $5 a share. Now it's about $20 a share. So if you invested in toilet paper 10 years ago, and now it's flying off the shelves, guess what? You deserve that extra money on that. It's sad that people have to do this gouging and trying to buy it all off the shelf, and they need to monitor that and deal with that. Federal government, local, state government, you need to deal with that. But you invested, and all of a sudden things are big for your item that you invested in. You shouldn't feel no shame about that. Take the return, reinvest, or enjoy the fruits of your investment. And that's what these government programs do. I invested in it. I deserve to experience the fruits of my investment once in a while. Not all the time, but once in a while, man. I don't expect to not be working all the time. But now I'm not working. You doggone right, I want my unemployment check. You doggone right, if I can get food stamps, I want food stamps. You doggone right, if I can get free health care in New York, if you're not working, you get free health insurance. I want it. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I still find it funny, and I'm done, that our federal government want to downbeat socialism, but in a time of crisis, they want to embrace it. The problem I got is they only want to embrace it temporarily, when they should embrace it as a permanent thing to do. So when crises like this happen again, and don't you dare think that another crisis like this won't happen again. Once we out of this crisis, be prepared, because another one can come. Always be prepared. Assume that crisis will happen. It could be a viral crisis. It can be a crash in the stock market. It could be anything. You just got to prepare yourself for it. You know, it's just one of those things that you don't expect to happen, but when it do, you're prepared for it. So, all right, I'm done. Let's see who's up here. Old Gringo, I see you up here. Lighten it up. Let me go all the way up. Karen, what's up? M. War, what's up, brother? Good talking to you, brother. All things are going to be up, brother. All things are going to be up for you, brother. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple comments. Let me see if I can get a comment from Karen. You say you're not trying to get sick, right? Look, who tries to get sick? I'm with you. I'm not trying to get sick either. You know, usually when I see, you know, if I'm coughing or people coughing, I can love them from the distance. You know, I just ain't going to be all in their face so they can cough on me. Or I don't want to be in their face so I can cough on them. But they got us thinking that any little cough we do, oh God, oh, I got it. Nah, man, go look at the symptoms. You know, you ain't got to have no cough. You still can carry that thing with you according to CDC. You know, but don't be, oh, achoo. Oh God, I think I got it. That you cannot, that's the fear job. Fear job is to paralyze you where you freeze up. Don't fall into fear. That is not the thing you want to do in a time of crisis. You want to walk in faith and boldness. That's why I say the more education you get, the more bolder you can be about not being in fear. That don't mean you be bold enough that you're just gonna go out there and do some, start hugging and kissing everybody and high fiving and all that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. The wisdom is out there. Do what the CDC tell you to do, and walk in faith. Be bold and enjoy life. Don't. I had to do this with my people in Florida that's checking on Big Rob. Yo, what's up, Bob? You're in New York. Are you all right? Man, dude, I'm good. I'm not going outside unless I have to. And when I go outside and I see you come up the street, I'm going on the other side of the street. And when I see two people coming my way, I'm walking in the middle of the road, bruh. I don't care. I'd rather get hit by a car than let y'all. Plus, if you're walking in front of me, I keep a huge distance between me and you. You stop, I stop. You look back, you think I'm stalking you. Nah, bro, I ain't stalking you. I'm just keeping the distance between me and you because I don't know if you coughing while you walking. And that the virus can linger in the air for 10 seconds before it hit the ground. So I'm not walking up behind you and your dog while you walking your dog. No. Nah, bro, keep on. Do your thing, man. Let your dog pee and keep walking. I'm not in no hurry. I take paper towels or wipes when I open the door. Everybody get a glove and a mask here just in case they go in public. Everybody get one glove and one mask just in case we go in public because we don't expect to be going in public 2-3 times. You're going to go out, make it one time. Get what you need to do and get back home. Matter of fact, tonight, let me check my account. I've been in this house working on my school. I'm taking classes on child care provider and things like that, on childhood education, because I want to do some work with some youth too. I really, really would like a glass of wine. I really would like to go get me 2 bottles of wine and just pour me a glass and relax. Listen to some jazz, take me a nice hot shower, slow hot shower, and relax. Sometimes you got to do that. I'm not telling nobody to be a wino, but calm your nerves. Relax. The thing that you think may get you may not be the thing that gets you. It may be something else that may get you. You heard about the people that was trying to rush to the store to get toilet paper and supplies, and they got in a car accident and one of the person died? Then you got people fighting over stuff. You don't know, somebody got a knife, they might stab you because you're trying to take the last thing of toilet paper. I saw on YouTube this lady got filled her whole shopping cart up with toilet paper, and the lady go down the aisle, there's no toilet paper for her, and she asking, ma'am, can I get one of those things of toilet paper? And they get in a fight over it. Man, they ain't doing all that. Look, it's just me right now. It's just me. I don't need a whole bunch of toilet paper, man. I went to the Dollar Tree and got 3 rolls of 4-pack, $1. That's enough to last me. Look, I'm not a bullshit. That's enough to last me for the next few months. I mean, if you watch Kim Iverson's, get a chance to go look at her study on what she's been getting from the World Organization on how the virus it has its weaknesses. And you can play into weakening that virus. Go watch that video. It is backed up by data. I'm not going to go over it here, but she did a great study on that. Go check that out, man, and calm your nerves. Calm your nerves, man. Get a glass of wine or something like that and relax, All right, M. War. Robert, even in liberal Canada, there has been much resistance to the $15 minimum wage. Also, our government flirt with the notation of basic income, but is duplicitous. Those big words from me, brother. Duplicitous trap. Because then you will absolve government of responsibility for other costs like health care. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's funny how you are a liberal country or you're a liberal partner, but you don't want to embrace policies to help people. And my philosophy, give them it all. They deserve it. How you going to deny people an opportunity for you to invest back into them after they invest in you. Every member in Congress right now gets free health care, Cadillac health care at that. But they don't want you to have it. Dummies like Clyburn gonna sit there and say, nobody want anything for free. We want it accessible and we want it affordable. Bruh, talk for yourself. You good. You got free health care. You want to go to class, you can go to any college, they'll let you go in for free. They'll probably put a picture of you and name a wing after you. You good, Clyburn. Most America don't have what you need. So you can't talk for me, and you can't talk for me as a black man. You know. All right, let's see. Who else? I'm going to go to ND. COVID-19 is dangerous. Poverty has killed. ND. All right. It is dangerous. So is nominal flu is dangerous. Any kind of sickness should be treated as dangerous, even a common cold. So you do what you normally do with a common cold. I'm not trying to get around somebody that got a cold. I got a lady, man. I got a nice lady and everything, you know. She live in Queens, you know. I miss you. You just gonna have to miss me, girl. I ain't going nowhere near you. And you live close to Corona, Queens at that. Corona, Queens is where they have the tennis stadium and Citi Field. I ain't going to see you. Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. So, I got lady friends that we want to hang out with Rob. I'm not doing that. I'm not going out of this house unless I have to. I go walk around the street, get fresh air. If I need to go pick up a couple things, I pick up a couple things and come back. I got an unlimited Metro card that I'm mad that I bought because I haven't used it, the subway, in over a week. All right, so I haven't been in New York City in over a week. I'm an avid movie person. I'm a part of the movie club where I get to watch 3 movies a week for $20, $24, and I can't do it. I'm not, because they shut it down. You can't be in the place over 10, 15. They said 50, but now I heard it's 10. And Times Square looked like a ghost town. Times Square looked like a freaking ghost town. People ain't playing around here. You got to go through these measures, people. You got to go through these measures to to bring the level down, the level of exposure. I got loved ones close to me that I'm gonna talk to you, but you're gonna be over there, I'm gonna be over there, because I don't want you to call for me. I don't want you to call for me. And they tell us, assume that the other person has it. Doesn't mean they have it, but in order to protect yourself, assume that the person you're about to get in contact with got it. Assume it. So no, I'm not coming to see you, baby. No, I'm not coming to kiss you, and I'm not putting my arms around you, because I'm assuming you got it. I'll wait till you get better. and you should assume, that, it's a measure of protection. That social distancing in this time is hard, but it's real. It's something that you got to do. So usually I don't come out of here. I'm always working on content, so I don't leave out of here unless I need to do other things. So, all right, old gringo. Look, let me tell you something. It's a good time to be a truck driver. Let me tell you something about truck driving. My uncle's a truck driver, and I used to work with him when I was a kid. Truck drivers don't have to touch much. Ain't nobody getting that truck with them. And going inside to get that truck, most of the time they don't load that stuff up. All they do is open up the truck and other people come unload it for them. Other people load it for them. That's all they do. So the only thing they can do is make sure that when they go to the truck stop, and you taking that shower in one of those truck stops, make sure you extra bathe, But right now, those guys getting money, and they getting that hazardous pay, man. Those guys getting paid. Take that, Andrew Yang. All right. Who else? Old gringo, U.S. currency, the public money, but Congress never allows it to go to us. That's my whole point of this video. Mighty funny you want to talk socialism now when you dog this man about his socialist agenda. And now y'all going to do another bailout. And again, you're not going to bail out the people who gave you the money in the freaking first place. It's not your money. How about giving us our money back? We can do much more with the money. Some of us can pay off our house, and some of us can, like Pastor said, pay off a house, get a car. I ain't got no problem with what that pastor say. My thing is, you ain't got to like what a person personally. It's what he's saying. I don't support Bernie Sanders because he's a great guy and he's wonderful. I've seen some people that, oh God, Bernie, oh God, oh. I don't care about that. I look at the policies. I support that platform. I'm not supporting you. I'm supporting the platform. The reason you may get my vote is based on what you do on a platform. It's not based on your personality. Everybody was like, oh, Obama, oh, look here. I'm going to tell you once, tell you again. In the second term, my black people, I got you. Obama got you. Oh, got you. You ain't got jack. And we came out to the poll in huge numbers. It's not about your personality, but no. That's why I ain't gonna ever vote for lying, racist, bigot Joe Biden. I mean, people call Bernie Sanders a bigot because he's signed a crime bill and the way he blow off reparations, people call him a bigot. But they can't say he's a dishonest bigot. No, he's honest. He'll tell you, no, I don't think that's the right thing to do. No. Biden lies, man. The worst bigot is one that act like they're your friend, but they're really not. Oh, this time I didn't know he was a bigot. Of course, true bigots surround themselves around the people who they try, around the people they trying to destroy. That's who they surround themselves with. All right. Yep, the trucks can't stop. I'm telling you. 1946 New York Fed Chairman Beardsley Romney quoted, "Taxes for revenue are obsolete. Federal taxes are never used to fund anything." Yep. Let me see. All right, so guys, I'm going to get off this thing. Jim A. COVID-19 hysteria, greatness scam, 7,000 deaths worldwide, Spanish flu. Look, I'm agree with this brother in a sense. You realize that there's more things that happen during a brief period for this pandemic and killed more people. A friend of mine's, sweet young lady, she's so nervous she don't want to go outside. So I said, I mean, you that's your option. Just don't walk in fear. I was telling her, and I was telling her the numbers in New York. You look at the numbers in New York. I think we're about what? Let me see where we at in New York. Give me a moment. Let me see about New York. State corona deaths and the city corona death. Give me a moment. Some of you probably already know it. Okay. All right, so this is 2 hours ago. All right, so in New York City, we have about, I think, an estimated 10 million people in New York City. 10 million. The cases of coronaviruses that we have now is 644. And that's pretty good. I mean, it's bad that people got it. But you're talking about 10 million to 644? New York probably think they don't have this thing down, that they're not doing good with this. No, they're doing hell of a and heaven of a good containing this thing. I mean, they're extreme measures, but they work. So you look at in New York in general, Westchester County. Westchester County is huge. You know, that's goes up to Quinnipiac and all that. to the borderline of you going to Connecticut. They have 380. Nassau County has 131. Suffolk County has 84. So looking at New York City with 644 people having been tested positive, and we got about 10 million people here in just New York City alone, it's not widespread here in New York City. Now, like I said, Westchester County number is kind of high, 380. Westchester County is a huge county. But in all, let's see how many deaths in New York City. Okay? And I don't like to celebrate death of any kind, but you got to put things in perspective. The reason why these numbers are not as high as they should be, because it should be higher than that, is because of the measures that we put in. All right, let's see. In the news. All right. I'm trying to find out how many we actually got. All right. So Kevin Durant, basketball player, top dog, he got it. Idris Elba, he got it. I know women like, oh God, oh not Idris, oh God, not my baby. Let's stop that. Idris got it because Idris traveled a lot. I don't know about the thing with Kevin Durant, but you know, he played team sports. So again, you around a bunch of people, you know. But it don't show me the deaths in New York State, New York City corona death. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go in a moment. Okay. All right, and they say nationwide there's 100 deaths for the coronavirus nationwide. And those deaths particularly are 80 and up. So like I said yesterday, it's usually the people that succumb to this virus. It's the same people that could succumb to having a regular flu. People who have chronic illness and a little bit up there in age. 2 hours ago, it was 105 people have died nationwide. So compared to how many people in America, especially in New York, I mean, we're dealing with this pretty decent. It's not stellar. They are working on a vaccine for it. They tested for a vaccine today, and the young lady is doing pretty good with the vaccine. All right, let's see. All right, I'm trying to find some information on this. But the bottom line is, you know, it's not going to stop. Just like any other sickness and any other disease, usually if you're a little up in age, you can succumb to it a little easier because you're dealing with diabetes, bronchitis, you know, CPD, lung disease, a host of diseases. It weakens the immune system. I mean, it does a lot to your body. So those are people who it's going to primarily affect. Your children, you don't see that many children getting real sick with it. You don't see that many children dying. I don't think I recorded any case yet. If there are some cases, let me know. If it is, little child probably had something to do with prior illnesses that added to that. Okay, it's just like people who has HIV. If you don't take your medication, you're prone to any sickness can take you out. So that's why I tell people just treat it like you do any other disease. You're sick, stay over there, bro. I ain't trying to get sick. I don't care if it's the coronavirus, or I don't care if it's the whooping cough. I'm not trying to get sick. Okay? And when I'm sick, I'm not trying to get nowhere near you. Because I don't want you to get sick. And I don't want you saying, you got me sick. I ain't got you sick. You went out there and started walking in the rain when it was cold. You got yourself sick. And here's the real truth. Sicknesses are going to happen. It's still cold. It's still the wintertime. You may catch a cold. You may catch a regular flu. Bottom line is, if you're sick, stay home. Lay down, get some rest for a couple of days. If nothing changed, go to the hospital. That's it. Do what you normally do. You're sick, you don't get around your family because you love them. You don't want them getting sick. So you say, baby, stay over there. I got it. Just bring me some soup. I'm cool. And don't put yourself in a position where you can get sick. And that's it. All right. So I'm done. I'm done. All right. So 600 plus. Death 7. You talking about Black Peace? You talking about in New York, right? Right? So if 7 deaths in New York, 600 plus, and we got over 10 million people, 10 million people, chill. Don't get in fear. Chill. Look at the other countries. Italy. Joe Biden gonna make that thing seem like it was a bad thing about Italy. No, Italy, if it wasn't for that system being in place, Italy would be in a hysterical crisis. Just chill, okay? And I'm gonna just talk to you a little bit more before I go. Really, take a chill pill, all right? Let me get a little closer to you. Don't be alarmed. Don't get into fear. Don't go, oh God, oh no, oh. That ain't going to help you. Fear paralyzes you. You won't be able to sleep. You won't be able to, sometimes you'll get to a point where you will get sick just for fearing. Fearing makes you sick. It's worry. It's stress. You're adding on top of that. Now you got the federal government and TV beating you upside the head with the fear of this thing, but then you beating yourself upside the head with the fear of you succumbing to that thing. Stay in peace, stay in faith, and just do what you normally supposed to do. Do what the CDC tells you to do. You're not feeling well, go in your room, chill. Fix you some soup, whatever. Chill. Don't get other people in your lives affected. Okay? Just like any other. I'm not even talking about coronavirus. I'm talking about any kind of cold. Chill. Till you get better. If you don't get better in 3 days, go to the doctor. That's all I can say. Force preventive. Do what the CDC tell you. Do like I do. You come my way, I'm going on the other side of the street. Both of y'all come my way, I'm going in the middle of the street. And I'm walking way behind you. I'm not walking next to you. Hang that up. You ain't gonna have me walk next to nobody for a long time. And tell your girlfriend you ain't going to her house tonight. She gotta do whatever she gotta do. You know, hey, you want to get another guy to come over your house? Fine. I'm gonna be living over here. Both of y'all gonna be dealing with the corona. I'm not coming to your house tonight. Anyway, let me let you guys go. So I appreciate you. Hey, Ronald, thanks for that update, man. Yeah. Yeah, he failed to get the test kit. The thing about the test kit is you got to test the test kits. I seen some foolishness on Facebook. This lady had a name badge and they got that advertised as it catches the coronavirus. It attracts it into this. I'm like, who want to walk around with a coronavirus trapped in some piece of plastic mess around their neck? People come up with some of the dumb stuff. So yeah, you could fault Trump for the testing, being late on the testing. Like I said, but you got to also understand that a lot of the testing kits have been faulty. And even CDC tested those testing kits and it couldn't even pick up anything. I don't know what China is using. I don't know what South Korea is using, but South Korea is killing the game. So whatever testing they doing, fine. Now we got testing now here in New York City. New Rochelle is doing drive-by testing, but the mayor just said they got some kind of testing going on, and they want to make sure they set up the places for people to go get tested for that. So, all right, let me shut up because I don't want to lose my voice talking. Then y'all think also something wrong with Robert Throat. No, I'm talking too much. That's what's wrong with Robert Throat. All right, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Black Peace. Teresa, thank you. Anyway, guys, I got to get back to my classes. I will talk to you in a few. Again, all of a sudden, during a time of crisis, the government want to become socialists. They want to push a socialist agenda. I have nothing wrong with that. Just make sure when you do a bailout, you give the money to us, not them. We can't keep doing this thing over and over again, robbing the American people of what they deserve, and that's their money back. I'm Robert.